Hey, hey, hey. It's Jegant Drago here, and I wanted to do a more proper test on the supplemental adrenaline armor passive combination with the. So, how does the passive work as I get to the other side of the map? So, first is the booster, Dead Sprint. That sprint will damage you when you are when you run out of stamina, which is the bar in the middle. As you run out of stamina, and that's the bar in the middle. And when you reach 0, you slowly take HP damage. Now, the armor passive, on the other hand, gives you stamina when you take damage. So if the booster is that, I didn't mean to do that. So if the booster is dealing damage to you, the armor will then take that damage and give you back some stamina. And as you gain back some stamina, you don't take as much damage. And then as you take a little bit of damage, you get a little bit of stamina back, thus increasing your total amount of runtime while taking quote unquote less damage. So you run a little bit more and you take a little bit less damage as a total. Now, I'm not saying that this is a great combo, but it's simply maybe not a bad one. And the idea is that you would get to run across the map for free, like so. And if you're just careful to avoid enemies and not be dumb like me in the just now, dying to level 1 bots, you would be able to traverse the map quite quickly. And in my previous video where I played a level 10 map with this combo, you also get to run quite a bit and not need to worry about stimming to get your stamina back. And you can kite quite easily, knowing that you can keep on running. Of course, you need to be a little bit more careful on when you can or when you need to heal yourself up again, since you still die quite quickly. But that's just a different area or different learning curve. But here, as you can see, I'm literally running across the map and still barely running. I basically reached it. I was about to die, and I might just die a second time. Let them walk closer. Let them walk closer. Oh, let them shoot themselves. Let the flying grenade kill them. How does it go? Boom. Wow, super effective for level 1 missions. Totally recommend. Amazing. But yeah, so this is how the level 1 armor might look when running across the map at the level 1 map. So it's a little bit smaller than the bigger maps, but you kind of get the idea. So in the next clip, I shall be going to show you what it looks like to use the medium armor. And for the medium armor, once again, it's going to be just slightly not as good. So if you want to just know which one is the better armor to use, medium or heavy, use the medium armor. You'll get faster running speed already, and the extra HP that the heavy armor gives you does not really give you more distance travel with that logic. You will still want a little bit of a balance of, ooh, nice. Wait, it's just requisitions, not SC points. I've been scammed. Anyways, just because heavy armor gives you a little bit more HP to run a little bit further, the movement speed that you get from medium armor is still a little bit better to be able to traverse and go the distance. And if you run faster with medium armor, you also get to avoid enemies much faster as well. So medium armor is the way to go. There we go. Super credits plus 10. Totally worth it. So of course I did not quite use the jetpack, but if you do this build with more movement abilities like the jetpack, you'll be really moving across the map quite quickly. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Let's go on to the next clip. Okay, so we get to finish up this level 1 mission as well, I suppose, but before we do the heavy armor style, we shall be seeing what a regular medium armor without this passive might look like. And so the only other armor that I could think of that has the same amount of HP would be this armor. And so we won't benefit from getting more stamina from taking damage. And so we will see the difference. I'm not gonna use the jetpack. Just gonna clear out. All right, I thought I was still thinking I was still using the shotgun from the last game. Okay, stim up to max again, and we shall start running. So yeah, the main thing here is that now that we don't have the armor passive, we won't be taking damage. And I'll put up a stamp on how much time it took us to run across the map and how much damage we took. The last run we end up getting quite far, if not the entire map. I did a previous test which wasn't the best, but we did not actually reach the end even with the armor passive, so I guess even depending on the map. But here, as you can see, I'm already reaching the end, and if you don't know, once you reach the end you actually cannot die from the booster. It would simply stop from letting you run, so now you do sort of the slow jog once again, and then you're at minimum health, in which case even when I was using this booster without the armor, before the armor was released, the way I use it is that I'll get to super low when wanting to traverse the map, and then when my HP reached 0, I would stim once, and then I would fill up the stamina bar and my HP bar, and that becomes like a 2-in-1 stamina bar to be able to run across the map or terrain. At least that's my personal logic and just playstyle. Once in a long while that I may do this. So this is just to illustrate a regular armor with this passive and how far you could run and for how long you can run. And I should sort of add the passive, the time of how long I was able to run. So here we are with the heavy armor section of the test. We brought in the heavy armor. We are at 175 HP as well, so this armor also gets a little bit of extra HP when you're using it. And we are at one side of the map once again, so we shall start running. Now maybe my initial expectation or conclusion is a little bit different, so I'm interested to see how it would go trying out the second time. But as I said in the beginning when testing out the medium armor, is that the heavy armor gives you a slower movement speed, and so it actually hinders you a little bit more compared to medium armor that gives you the faster movement speed. So even though the logic might be that you might have more HP to be able to tank, so we both run slower, so we travel a less distance, and though we might have more HP to burn through to keep running before we run out of HP, technically we might not be able to travel as far compared to medium armor. And running slower just means that you will have a chance of getting hit, and that's about it. So pretty decent actually compared to the previous maps that I've been trying. There's a lot of factors going on when trying to test this out, of elevations, environments, and the last map that I tried might be a little bit on the snowy planet, so that might have slowed me down a bit. So the test results is not perfect. Okay, here we are with all 200 HP, and we shall get running. Good thing that this map still has a full amount of land on one side. Going from south to north, there's some water there, which would be problematic to get the full distance run. But yeah, only reaching half distance, and now we, even at 200 HP as well, having more HP and barely reaching half, we no longer could run anymore. So the main takeaway is that the armor passive plus the booster gives us a lot more running distance, and I still believe, I'm not 100% sure, so feel free to correct me, but I still believe that if you are playing with a team and someone brought the vitality booster, you would also be taking less damage from the dead sprint as well, giving you a lot more running distance. When I was testing this combo on myself, I think I had a couple of teammates who brought vitality, of course, and I was noticing so much more running distance with this combination. Wow, the laser somehow did not destroy the billboard. I cannot believe it. I simply cannot believe it. That is so funny. But yeah, once again, I'm not saying this is the best build ever. It's not OP. It's just something different. Something to play once in a while where it's actually not throwing the game, as some people might say. I spoke about it before, but it's kind of funny that I created a small clip trying out this combo, and it's mainly on Instagram that I got a couple interesting negative comments, and it's nothing to me, but it's just funny to see since I'm still quite small and you don't get a lot of comments in the first place, and so getting negative comments, it's interesting to see, of like, oh wow, a negative comment. And the basic idea is that they would kick me if I ever join the game with it, or, and that's understandable. If I join the game and I have the booster and you want to kick me because it's annoying, that's fair. But when I host the game, I get plenty of people to join in quite quickly, and those people who do join the game clearly aren't bothered by it at all, and they just play the game in the end. At the end of the day, it's just play the goddamn game, and it's really not that bad. I'm starting to feel like it might be a meme to hate on the booster. And it's not to say that the booster does not need buffs. It definitely could use buffs, which is something that I talked about in the gameplay. Basic idea is that when you activate the booster, or when the booster is activated and you run out of stamina, instead of just being able to keep on sprinting at your regular sprint speed, is that as you take damage, your sprint actually gets faster and you get to run faster. Now that would be really good, and it would be a unique playstyle. As for the armor passive, it also should get a little bit of a buff, which is the same idea that if you do get shot, then your sprint speed, if you're running at the time, gives you more sprint speed, and you maybe don't need to get hit to get stamina back, similar to Bangalore. If someone shoots you or try to attack you close by, then you'll get some stamina back. But of course, if you get hit, you gain much more stamina that way. In any case, I'll end the video here, and hope you enjoy. Like and subscribe, comment below if you tried this combination before, and hope we'll meet again.